Hello my friends, this is the second video about screws. In the first video we've seen the different types of screws, and now that we know the theory, let's go to practice. So let's see how to concretely use these screws. For this we're going to the atelier. So here you see a little example about making a pre-hole. So you don't need to make always pre-holes, but it is recommended because it's easier. So you make here a little hole. This is with a 2 millimeters metal drill. So now the pre-hole is ready. And now I'm taking a screw. And now I'm just putting the screw within the pre-hole. And then let's screw it. And it's ready. To remove it, just unscrew. Let's imagine, for instance, we would like to install such a kind of angle on a wood. So you see here in this package, there are the angles and the screws are sold with the angles. As you can see, the hole here is slightly incurved, so this means that this type of screw is fitting perfectly. Put it in and you see that it's just like it has to be. It's totally plain, it's totally flat. So now we make the pre-holes. So for the first one I make just a mark because I don't have the right angle for reaching this point. So this is just a marking. And now the second one, that's done. So now I finalize the pre-hole of the top. Now we're ready. I position the angle on the piece of wood. Now I'm taking the screws, checking which is the right head fitting with this screw. Let's take this one. And now I'm putting the screw. So the first one is not fixed too tight, so that I'm sure that I'm able to put the second screw. And once I've put the second one, I can close the higher one. And that's it. This is perfectly fitting. Now just for removing, we will unscrew. So there are different lengths of screws. So the reason is that it depends also on what you're fixing. Usually you should have a certain length. For instance here, you should have at least the same length in the wall or in the wood than of what is fixed. So this is the minimum. So now I'm showing you how I can fix this board against this this piece of wood. So the first step is to make a hole for inserting later on the screw. And here I will go through the whole thickness of this board. So now the board is with the hole from the top to the bottom. So now it's ready to be put on the other piece of wood. So now I'm taking the screw, I place it here, and I'm screwing. Better to put it in the right direction. And now it's fixed. So first of all, let's unscrew. And now I will make the opposite. And for this one I have to make the drill a little bit longer. So you see I put the maximum length of the drill for being sure that I'm able to reach the other end. So now let's go. So now the hole is made. And I will take a longer screw. Of course, in real life this screw would be too short, but this is just for pedagogical reasons. So now I'm taking the right head of the screwdriver and we're just closing. So when it reacts like this is that we have reached the other piece of wood. And here it is. Let's unscrew. So let's imagine I want to put this screw into a certain given place into a cupboard. I need first of all to find the drill, which is the same diameter, slightly smaller, otherwise it won't hold. So classically this here is a 5. And here of course it's not worth for going too far into the wood, because we have seen that the screw is not very deep. So it's around 1 centimeter. So let's go. I'm making the pre-hole. And now I'm positioning the screw in the pre-hole. And now I'm screwing it with the right head of screw. And it's fixed and it is holding very well. Let's unscrew. So for these screws, it's the same principle. So now we make a demo on wood. So you make the pre-hole. And now we're taking in the box with all the drills, we'll take a device I haven't shown you until now. So you just put this little piece on the top of the screwdriver. Now it's closed. And then I'm taking the right size corresponding to the nut of the screw. So here I have the right size. So let's imagine I put again this cupboard holder. Ready, putting the screw. And now I'm taking the adapter for the right size of the nut. I'm putting it on the top and then we can screw. So that's really excellent because it holds greatly. Removing it again. So now let's imagine I would like to put this here on the wall. So this is typically a holder for cupboards in the kitchen, put on the wall. And it's really well done here because thanks to these little tiny stripes, you can adjust, once you have put the screw, you can adjust the height from where it should hold. So it's really super well done. So I'm just putting the angle on the wall. Then I'm putting this holder on top. And now we're ready to put the screw. And as I told you, we'll be very careful of taking a screw like this, which is flat. You see it's flat here. So there will be a nice surface for holding the angle. So let's go. So already now, without having screwed a lot, it's holding perfectly. You all have these angles in your kitchen on the higher cupboards, and what is very important is that the angles are mounted on the caisson, on the box itself. Then you can see it's hidden by a little thing, and here you can see how you can adjust the height thanks to these little stripes. Unscrewing. And of course, always make sure that you're keeping your screws. You will need them. It's also a question of cost, because screws can cost a lot in the end, so it's good to keep them. So I invite you to have a look at the video about the magic box. Here an example of a screw you shouldn't be keeping, because this one is dead. You see here on the top it's totally empty. It means that the screwdriver won't hold at all on this one. So this screw is dead. So this goes into the bin, and make sure that it's going into the metal bin. Another example of screw you shouldn't be keeping is this one, because it's just turned, it's not straight anymore. So this goes to the bin as well. That's it, folks. Now you know everything about screws. I can invite you to have a look at other videos. I made one, for instance, how to install a curtain rod, and a second one, how to install a used insulation brush on the bottom of a door. So one concrete application in which you will put screws on a wall, and another one on which you will put screws in wood. In case you like this video, please leave me a little like or subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, see you soon.